there's one person who really understands what's really going on in the Middle East today. That's the great Mosab Yousef, the Green Prince. His father was one of the founders of Hamas, one of the most vicious terror organizations in the world. He rejected the ways of his father. Now he goes around the world trying to save Jews, to try to tell people what's really going on in the minds of the Arab communities, what's really the intentions of Hamas, that is to destroy the Jewish people. Let's listen to Mosab do his magic.
So Israel was left with no other choice but to use force. And force is the last resort. Philosophers in the East and in the West, enlightened avatars, validated the use of force when all other means fall. And in this case, in Hamas' case, there was no way around it but to use the force. There are civilian casualties, but their blood is on the hands of Hamas and on the hands of Hamas alone. Because Israel warned the civilians of Gaza to evacuate. It gave them 21 days to escape, but they still insist on staying to give Hamas cover. You know why? Because unfortunately, many Gazans support Hamas and many Gazans voted for Hamas. And the majority of Gazans hated Israel. And many choose to be silent. And a majority of the Arab world, not only the Gazans, failed to condemn Hamas and say this does not represent the Arab people. They failed to condemn Hamas. This is their biggest mistake. And when such a society fail their moral responsibility, at least, I don't want to say to eradicate Hamas, but at least morally, to take a moral responsibility and say, we are different. This does not represent our religion, our culture. But instead, they gave Hamas cover and they failed to condemn Hamas. This is their problem. So Israel is left with no other choice but to defend itself. And all the victims of Gaza that you see, remember my words, they are war victims. Very different type of victims than October 7 victims. October 7th victims, they were victims of a genocide. This is the highest crime can be committed, a genocide, where you systematically kill people, move from door to door, annihilating everything in your way. This is what Hamas did, indiscriminately. What's happening in Gaza, Israel called the people, say, evacuate this building because we have a tunnel under. Then Hamas go with their propaganda using pictures and videos from Syria to say, look what Israel is doing to us, while they are the ones hijacking an entire society using Palestinians as human shields. This is the devil in action. So, of course, there is no other way but the use of force. And with this, I conclude. The United States of America, after the savage attack against Pearl Harbor, where 400 Japanese suicide airplanes hit the harbor, the United States immediately developed the dirty bomb. And they wiped out Hiroshima and Nagasaki 4 years exactly after this attack. When they did that, the war ended. It was the end of World War II. So sometimes, some of us, could be one of us, would have to take the responsibility to drop a dirty bomb somewhere in order to stop the war from spreading. Because when a majority of people agree on violence, validate violence, justify genocide, and think it's a point of view to become a Nazi, in this day, It all begins with killing Jews. This is what happened last century. And Nazism, many thought of it as a point of view. And now history is repeating itself. And even in the middle of our educational institutions, we've been invaded by Hamas ideology, by the name of Palestine and by the name of revolution. Who cares? Anti-Semitism is Nazism, and it's rejected. It should be rejected on this campus, should be rejected everywhere in the United States. The United States should be the last country that allow this type of mentality to express itself, because Nazism is not a point of view. It is not. And
I mean, he's really got it. Palestinianism, the Hamas charter, it's a form of Nazism, ladies and gentlemen. They want to annihilate the Jewish people. Thank God we have people like Mosab that really tells the truth. He knows what's going on. He grew up in their communities. He knows exactly what Hamas intends to do. And thank God we have people like him fighting back with truth, clarity, and tremendous vision for the future.